Time for us to head Horsham District. Gee, some exciting football being played. The big fella Weir is with us now. G'day, Peter. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Wayne. And yeah, it's good to see some interesting results across the league last weekend. And yeah, it soon comes around another week, and here we are again Friday night. Looking at this week's games.
I tell you what, the people from Conniva would have thought, gee, it's a really good thing. You go down to Eden Hope, you think, you beauty, we're on 2 wins, we can go 3 and zip, and then suddenly the Eden Hope absolutely came out 18-13, 121 to the Cougars. 5-7-37. I saw the result and I couldn't believe that is an absolute pasting by the Saints.
Yeah, huge win. We probably thought this game was going to be pretty close. Flowman and could have gone either way, but yeah, Eden Hope had other ideas. And I see a few new names in their best player list, Flowman, so there might have been some last-minute recruiting just to add to their squad there, and the boys obviously played well. One
thing about country footy is that once you get a premiership, it's hard to back up the next year, and Rupp are finding that, the Panthers. They got nailed by the Swifts at North Park, 10-12-72 to 9-13-67 in the cliffhanger, but gee, they've lost, they had a draw earlier on down there at Natimuk, and now this loss, it's hard to back up, Big Weary.
Yeah, it is, and they've had a very up and down start to the season. And I think to Stall's credit, they did come back from 4 goals down at three-quarter time in that game. So Rupp is still going to be around the mark, Flowman, but they're not the dominant force they were last year.
Yeah. My good mate Clint Burdett would have been pretty happy singing the song for the first time. 14-12-96 to Laharam, 9-10-64, and Nick Groves booted 4. And I reckon that's a good result that gets the Tigers on the way.
Yeah, well, that's their second win for the season, Wayne, and they'll be really happy. They had a pretty, not comfortable, but easy-ish draw to start with, and to get 2 out of 3, Clint will be very happy with that.
And this is an interesting one because Narrajua Quantong over Natimuk, 13-21 to 9-5. Just scoring shots there tell you that Narrajua Quantong are in complete control down there at the sheep paddock.
Yeah, a bit surprised. I thought Natimuk might be closer on their home deck, but as you touched on, yeah, it was only bad kicking that made the margin somewhat respectable.
Yeah, it was. The Keys got home pretty comfortably. Jaden Kearney with 5 and Isaiah Adams booted 4. They absolutely belted Taylor's Lake, 19-12, 126 to 6-4-40. I think you said in the first week that Taylor's Lake had a couple of recruits go down injured, and I think their season looks pretty much in tatters.
Yeah, unfortunately for those guys, they did recruit 3 or 4 quality players into the team and into the club, and yeah, I don't think any of those are playing at the moment. And yeah, Kalki on their home deck would have been way too good for Taylor's Lake, and would have been a long time since Taylor's Lake's beat them there.
Tell you what, when the Jeparit Rainbow coaching staff would have put together the side and they were heading down to the Balmoral Oval against the Kangaroos, the side that's really been a nemesis for you in the time that you've been in Horsham District, I don't think you would have expected to be 6-5 to 1-1 at quarter time and get nailed in the end. You kept pace with them after that. It's just that they got away and you couldn't catch them.
Yeah, it's very disappointing to go away. All you want to do when you play away is have a good start. But yeah, Harrow were way too good. And you could say we were a bit flat, but that's what good sides do to you. They don't let you get your game going on your terms. And after quarter time, we did play much better football, but probably throughout the day, they probably won 70% of the play, Flowman, and they well and truly deserved their 6-goal win.
Yeah, they did. Dana Batson, good for you. Yaron's a really good player. Tom Clark, Brad Stokes, Tom Sherman, and a couple each to Anderson, Jake Cox, Brad Stokes, Sinoradsky, and also Big Peter Weir getting a couple of goals.
Yeah, Batto's had a great start to the season. He's was a great coach last year, and he's really supported Scotty Driscoll. And we've also got Matt Everett, who's a Dimbula bloke, and he's helped out on the bench a lot, and he's our bench coach, Flowman. So we're having a great influence from our leaders, and Batto's definitely still one of them.
Okay, the reserves, 29-10 to 2-2. Did you travel lightly?
Yeah, it was a tough game. Jason Hudson, Flowman, who's probably been our president for 10 years and on the committee forever. He stepped away and Lucas Hedelson's taken on that role. But unfortunately for Jason, he's found himself probably this year as a reserves coach. So I don't know what the harder gig would be. But Hutto's got his work cut out now as a reserves coach and probably taking more phone calls than he did as president, I'd say.
What about these lads, these 17 boys? We know that there's some good-sized kids. This Marcel the Badua is a good young player. They just get nailed, though, by just the depth, I think, of these other power clubs, and Harrow Balmoral did that and mercied them in the third quarter.
Yeah, Harrow were too good in this game, and a bit of a downer in this game was Cooper Stasnowski. Got a bit of a bad knock to his head, Flo man, but it's good to see him back up and about during the week, and he'll have a couple of weeks off, but he'll rest up and come back in a couple of weeks' time, which will be good.
Yeah, great stuff. And then down into the kids, and again, we've been watching these 14-year-old boys develop over a number of years, and they've coming through some of the kids that we've been talking about over these last 5-6 years. Your boys at this level are a real show this year. They've beaten Harrow Balmoral 8-13 to 2-3. That is a sensational performance, and it was almost probably the best put-together game that we've seen from your junior brigade.
Yeah, great win, Flo man. We're in a bit of trouble this one about this on myself and you because we didn't back them. And when I walked in the gate, I had a lineup of under 14 kids and coaches letting me know that we got this one wrong. So great to see them go down there to Balmoral and have a great win against one of the better junior sides in the comp.
I know we've talked about this lad and he's a relative, so and people have a bit of a chuckle when we do. But it's Lenny Weir. He led the way from the front. He's tall, he's strong now, he's getting a bigger body, and as a result, he's starting to dominate at this under-14 level, and I'm glad to see it. He's playing good footy even at the 17 level. 3 from him. Young Maxie Spokes, he's a real star of the future. A couple off of his boot, and Liam Clark, Dustin Eckerman and Ryder Gould also kicked goals.
Yeah, it's great to see the boys developing into the great young footballers, and someone's got to take credit for being a good kicking coach because a lot of the boys have some very nice skills, Flo man, and that helps a lot during the game. Yeah,
it does, except they kicked 8-13 Weary, which apparently you're their forward coach, is that right?
Which I have actually taken them for a few sessions, Flo man. Could be sacked from that role, I'd say.
Good stuff. You won't be sacked from any roles. The quiz takes place. It's a big one at Rainbow this week. Be a big crowd of people stay back for the home game.
Yeah, great to be back at Rainbow for the first time this year. And, quiz night's always fun, and that'll be the entertainment for the night.
Oh, she'll be entertaining, that is for sure, for the crowd. And I tell you what, it's going to be entertaining when we get back to home and away football on Saturday. Across the other games, your tips, Rupp play Pimpernio. Can Clint cause a little upset here with the Panthers?
Yeah, well, with their softer start, this is their first real test of an ex-finals team, and I think they'll find out where they're at this weekend. It'll be pretty close, but Rapania will win.
All right, the battle of big cats there. Some black cats, the Panthers, against some tiger ones. This is Taylor's Lake versus Harrow Balmoral. It's like a top and bottom, and I think even though it's at the Dock Lake, I'll be going for some jumping kangaroos.
Yeah, Harrow will be way too good in that one, Flo man.
Moment of truth for the Cougars, and this is important because they're 2-1. Kalkee, their opposition, who meet them at Conniva, are 1-2. This can go 3-1 for the Cougars and 1-3 for Kalkee.
Yeah, 8-point game, as you say, but I think Kalkee have probably had the wood over Conniva since they've been in the league, and I expect that to continue. And even though it's on the Cougars' home deck, I reckon Kalkee will be too good. One
of the long road trips for Eden Apsley up to Laharam, the Cameron Oval at the Grampians Mountain, but I think the boys from off of the cattle-producing plains will beat Laharam.
Yeah, they'll be too good, but I see Laharam have got their 2013 10-year premiership reunion play, man, so if things aren't going so well on the field, I'm sure they'll have a good day off it.
One of the matches of the round is this one. Narrajua Quantong play the Swifts at Quantong Recreation Reserve. This is a big game of footy for both sides.
Yeah, great matchup. Both teams have very similar strengths and weaknesses, and across the ground there'll be some great matchups, and I expect it to be a really close game. Just go with Narrajua Quantong because it's at their home deck, but if it was at Stall, I'd be picking the Stall boys.
Jeparit Rainbow welcome the sheep paddockers from that area down there at Natimuk, and at Rainbow they come up to the Mallee and they'll face a very, very hostile Storm. I think the Storm will clean up here.
Yeah, I think they always present a big challenge, and I think their midfield's recruited really well, and they do run hard through the midfield, so our boys will have to get on top in the midfield, and if we can do that, I'm pretty sure we can kick a winning score. But Lockie Harris will be one to watch out for up the other end, Flo man. I see that he kicked 7 out of Natimuk's 9 goals last weekend.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the reserves will be interesting after 2 massive losses. You're at 8.84%, the boys. They're on bottom of the table, but Natimuk are only a couple of places above, and they're at 11.98%. So both sides in the reserves have been getting an absolute poleaxing. Somebody's going to get out of this okay.
Yeah, I think last week Natimuk boys went down by 200 points and our lads went down by 180. So I'm not expecting the game to reach any great heights in a spectacle-wise, but it should hopefully be a close game and maybe our boys can sneak across the line.
I'll tell you what, the under-17s would be just looking at this going, we're in this, we're right in this. Natimuk in 11th, you in 10th. I think your boys are better than 10th spot in your under-17 grade. I reckon you'll win here.
Yeah, I think the boys, both in the under-17s and the under-14s, Flowman have real opportunities to take the points this weekend in front of their home crowd.
Yeah, I reckon they do too. Good looking at the 14s, and this is a big opportunity. The boys are in the very much in the vein for a top 6 position. They're in 8th spot at the moment. Right below them down at the bottom is Natimuk. They need percentage this week. They need to win it and win it well.
Yeah, I think they will. Nathan Cox has got the boys up and about now after last week, and they'll be ruining that very close loss to Kalkee, but I think they'll get one back this weekend and beat Natimuk.
Oh, it's a big season. It's a good one too. And the Horsham District Football and Netball League. And Big Weary, I'm looking forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks very much, mate.